what is the landscape comparable to? I mean, I think everyone knows the answer of VJs will take a gig so that way they can have visuals and examples of their visuals. But as you were saying, not everything should be free. Are things still free now? Is that
Oh
fine,
yeah.
or will that change?
See, I like to take in perspective that a lot of people in VR do it for the love of it, and that is perfect. Like it does not have to preclude money. And a lot of times shouldn't. In a weird sense, like kind of backturning what I just said. Um the involvement of money makes things a little confusing. It really does. Like I remember a conversation when clubs start charging money in VR chat, things are going to get real weird. And that is also true with visual artists. But what we do is hard. Um so it becomes a really confusing landscape. But I do have to say the positives is you can start at whatever level, and the landscape of VR chat VJs is plentiful. The table will always have room for you no matter how big it gets, but we still can't fill out a roster for things like Gearfest. Stuff like that. That has like a an Excel spreadsheet of a ton of people looking for different genres and different vibes and stuff like that. Finding your own in there is so wonderful. And there's a lot more VJs and visual artists in this space than I even knew about, but even more have been popping up. And a lot more interest for that has been popping up. A lot more visual focused clubs are popping up. A lot of things like SNR is still a thing. Apple GI with Apple Blossom, these shader technologies that are only possible in VR is such a wonderful landscape to mess with even industry visual artists that come from historically outside of our space really want to mess with things that are built in a virtual space because there's possibilities in here that you can't do in real life with physics. Like there's just really interesting immersive experiences to be had here that makes this landscape unique, plentiful, and getting bigger.
Do you think in the future we can walk hand in hand with DJs finding their VJ? I feel like this past year we have been seeing a little more of that happen, where a certain VJ will work with either a group of specific DJs or just be tied to one particular DJ to work hand in hand.
I think it is. I think it's a wonderful partnership, and that's kind of how it works in a lot of IRL settings. Is that a touring artist will have a VJ that they know by name or have a direct relationship to, that is their aesthetic. They kind of have like this marriage of aesthetics that just works. Um, I VJ for almost anything. So this space is kind of unique in that where you could kind of play around with that a lot. It is a little bit separated from the IRL space, but I know a lot of good friends of mine that do VJ in this space that will only VJ for a specific few or one, and that mirrors what it is like in real life. That is mostly what IRL settings for VJs would be, is that like you have a genre or specific artists that you really kind of set your vibe to. Um but I really am bad at like being so specific. I really like to taste test everything. So I really like to put my name out there and just like I wonder if I could, I don't know, I can take my weird, colorful aesthetic and put a couple effects on it and make this really work for like hard style one night and then go do down tempo tomorrow. Like I find a lot of strength that I can do that, but I really that feels rare a lot of times.